our second week of Tai Chi, we'll be focusing on a pose called Part the Wild Horse's Mane. So for Part the Wild Horse's Mane, we are going to be reaching, just kind of like you're petting a horse. Just imagine that you're reaching up to the top of a horse's neck and then just stroking down its back. It's a really graceful and beautiful arm movement. And in addition to that, we also work on a diagonal step out and forward. So what you're going to do with all of our Tai Chi movements, we want to keep the legs underneath the body. So when I say step diagonally, you're still keeping your foot underneath your core. So it's not like an extreme step. It's just a simple step, both out and a little bit to the side. So you're going to point your toes at an angle, a little bit away from straight on, right? And then bend your knees and shift your weight back and forth. As you bend your knee, this knee, you're going to shift your weight towards so that it's like hovering over your ankles. And then here, as you bend your opposite knee, I'm going to shift your upper body over that back foot. So just kind of play around with that a little bit. Place your feet just underneath your body, one at an angle and one kind of behind you, and start shifting back and forth. So this is our foundation for Part the Wild Horse's Mane. And you're going to be stepping into this pose, this form, with your heel first and then your toe. And the thing that's important about that is that as you lift your toes, that really will help you throughout your life to be able to lift your feet high enough to avoid tripping on floor transitions, sidewalk cracks, anything like that. And the ultimate goal of this class is to keep people from falling. We don't want you to fall because injuries happen, bones break. We don't want that to happen. And so just training your subconscious mind and your feet to lift the heels or lift the toes as you place your heel first is going to help you every step of your life to avoid tripping. So that's what we're kind of setting up the foundation for. Let's try it with the other foot. Go ahead and step it, not very far, but out at a diagonal, and with your toes kind of angled out, I would say about a 45-degree angle. Bend your knees, one and then the other, okay? Shifting your weight back and forth. So just find that rhythm. Now, all of our movements in Tai Chi, we follow the breath. So now, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and just start to get that feeling. So as you rock back, lift your toes up. As you go forward, toes down, okay? So follow your breath. Think about lifting those toes, okay? All right, so coming back to kind of neutral standing pose, let's practice this stepping out, foot still under your body, but at a diagonal, a little angled away from your body, and we're going to step heel first, okay? So heel, toe, bend the knee, shift your weight onto that foot completely so that this foot is free, okay? And then come back this way. As you rock back, you're going to lift your toes, okay? So do you see that? So we'll go back and forth, just kind of practicing this diagonal rock from one foot to the other. And as you shift your weight, try and really get all the weight into that foot so you could someday lift the opposite foot completely up off the ground, okay? You want to have that much weight transfer. So this is the foundation for Part the Wild Horse's Mane. Let's do it one more time the other way. So shifting all the weight onto this foot, we're going to step heel first, and then toe. Then bend the knee, shift your weight onto this leg. See if you can lift your toes a little bit. There we go. Good. And rock back. So try and practice that rocking back and forth. Okay? Good, good. This is the foundation. So now we're going to see what we do with our arms as we part the wild horse's mane. Now that you've got your legs figured out a little bit, the next thing you do is you reach. The hand that's stepping forward is going to be the one that's kind of like wrapping around the horse's neck is what I imagine. So I'm kind of giving this horse a hug with this hand, and then I'm reaching up on top of its head to stroke its mane with the other, okay? So as I step heel toe here, I'm also reaching around to hug that horse. Shifting my weight forward, reaching to the top of the head of this imaginary horse, and then as I shift my weight back and lift my toes, I pet the horse all the way back to its tail, okay? So let's try that a few times. It's a lot of things to think about, but let's just focus right now on the hands. So we'll leave the feet still. Just wrap your arm around that horse's neck, reach up to the top of its head, and as you pet the horse all along its back and down to its tail, follow your moving hand with your eyes. So we'll be following the focus with that moving hand behind us, okay? So reaching out, reaching up, and stroking, okay? Let's try adding that to the movement with the feet. So as you step, you hug the horse, touch its head, follow your fingers as you stroke all the way back, okay? So that's the beginning of part the wild horse's mane. Let's try it on the other side. Step your other foot, heel toe first, right? Heel first and then toe, and then shift your weight. So that's what you're doing with your foot. And then with your hand, you're going to wrap your arm around this horse's neck, reach up to the top of its head, and then as you pet the horse, shift your weight back, okay? Lift your toes. Try it again. Reach up to that horse, shift your weight back. Okay, so that's the beginning of part the wild horse's mane. We've done the foundation, the footwork, we've done the arms, sort of that movement. Now let's do the way that you transition back out of this pose. So we have the beginning where we pet the horse and we shift back. Now we're right here. Once we get to this point, toes are lifted and your foot's still out at an angle. What we need to do is we're going to take this hand and the tip of your toes. Kind of imagine that there's like a string holding your toes up in the air and you're just gonna come square, straight ahead. Okay, so now your foot is straight in front of you, your hand is straight in front of you. This one is back here petting the horse. Your gaze is back here. So this is where we are. And then we're going to bring all of our weight into that foot and hold the ball. Okay? So that's how we transition out of wild horse's mane. From the other side, we have this diagonal step, right? We have this hugging the horse, stroking the horse, and here we are sitting back, lifting the toes. They're at an angle and we need to get them to be straight. So just this arm that's sort of hugging the horse, it's going to guide the toes to be square. And then bend this knee, shift your weight, lift up to your tippy toes, and here we are at that foundational pose, hold the ball. So this is wild horse's mane, and it is the second in a series of 8 forms that I'll be teaching in the Moving for Better Balance class. I hope you can join me. This class is evidence-based and it helps you to prevent falling ultimately, but to just help you with all of your movements, your awareness of your feet and your body in space, and I hope that you can join me.